What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. Some interesting updates today coming in the location of Brian Laundrie in the Gabby Petito case. An interesting statement made by Brian's attorney, or the attorney for Brian, as well as some new information shared by the FBI. Lots going on. Hey, I've really appreciated your support and kind words in the comment section down below. I don't know if I'll necessarily be covering crimes on this channel very often, but you never know. I mean, this one hit particularly close to home since she was an influencer and a YouTuber. I'm not sure I would have covered it otherwise, but I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. And if you have, make sure you subscribe so you can actually get notified when I upload. Now, the Laundrie family lawyer, let's start with some of the statements made by him. He denies, quote, hogwash speculation that Brian's parents planted the remains in the backpack in the Florida Nature Preserve and revealed he was the one that told them not to speak with Gabby's family or the media. The lawyer representing Brian Laundrie's parents has denied that they planted evidence found in Florida Nature Preserve yesterday after weeks of fruitless searches, calling any such suggestion hogwash. Chris and Roberta Laundrie joined law enforcement yesterday for a time together at the Carlton Reserve in Florida, where they believe the fugitive son had been hiding for weeks after Gabby was found in Wyoming. Within a few hours of the search, authorities found what is now presumed to be Brian, a backpack and a notebook. Police have confirmed already that the backpack and notebook did belong to Brian, and a formal identification of the remains is underway. It's unclear what kind of condition they're in. I'm sure not good. Many speculated the timing of his discovery was suspicious. It was suspicious because if you remember yesterday, we talked about how, Sunday night or Monday night or whatever, they had basically said, okay, we're done searching the Carlton Reserve. Then his mom and dad called and said, hey, we have we think that we're going to go search again. And then poof, they find him. So on Wednesday night, Laundrie family lawyer Steve Bertolino told CNN's Chris Fredo Cuomo that it's hogwash. He also revealed that he told the parents not to speak to the media or Gabby's family, which they have been admonished for, and said that the pair are heartbroken. So I don't know if I'm going to convince anybody any other way, but I think it's important that, there is at least a possibility that his parents didn't know anything, and they've been getting dragged for the last 5 weeks. And they still have to, kind of mourn the loss of their potential daughter-in-law, as well as their son, which ended up being a complete tragedy. Chris and Roberta went to the area first, as happenstance was. They stumbled upon these items. Oh, they did find them. Interesting. So the parents were the ones that found it. Speculation is just that. The search about the park continued on Thursday with cadaver dogs, dune buggies, and police cars, but authorities are being tight-lipped about what they've found so far as they continue to search for. Lee County Sheriff Carmen Marceno has held a short press conference on Thursday afternoon, but he mostly thanked the praised law enforcement, blah, 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 blah. Today, I got to see the treacherous conditions they were working under. We're talking about water levels up to the chest area, rattlesnakes, moccasins, alligators. These are very, very difficult conditions. You're searching in an area where you can't just walk up and look. It's not like you're searching for a house or a car. These areas are huge and covered in water. And that is true. I mean, when you look a lot of the photographs, it's just like when you're deer hunting. My dad always used to tell me, like, when we were driving out woods, like, you could walk right past the deer, not even know it. And that's how it is. Like, when you get that thick, you're talking about under 4 feet of water. My guess is he offed himself the very first day he was out there, and then it just happened that, it rained and stuff covered the body. It's challenging times, but I know everybody wants to know exactly what's going on every second possible. All of America's watching. It's interesting to me, quite frankly, you could see his pants are wet. So he was obviously in a wet area. I don't know. The fact that mom and dad happen to be the ones that found it, yes, it could absolutely be a coinkydink. It could be just, dumb luck, so to speak. But, man, that just looks so bad. The FBI Northport PD said that they all remain on the scene. Bertolino also told CNN that he told the parents not to speak to Gabby's family, the media, or anybody after he vanished on September 13th. Now is the right time to talk about the situation. Now is not the right time. The family was following my directions. I told them not to talk with anybody, not to say a word. I was the intermediary between the family and law enforcement. Everybody has the right to remain silent, and that's what I told my clients to do, and that's what they did. Bertolino added that the remains are likely those of Brian, but that the family was waiting for formal identification. The probability is strong that it's Brian, but we're going to wait for the forensic results to come in and verify that, the family attorney said via the phone. The remains were discovered alongside items including a backpack and notebook belonging to Laundrie. Now, if this area was underwater, one wonders if you're going to see any, like if anything written on those pages in the notebook were preserved. It seems unlikely unless it was like in a waterproof backpack or something like that. It didn't look like it to me. I would imagine if it was written in ink, it would have faded and stuff by now, but I guess I don't know, what kind of condition that might be. Maybe the book was, the middle pages are okay or something like that. In the interview, Bertolino said the belongings were found near a bridge connecting the environmental park and the adjoining Carlton Reserve. The bridge is about 4 miles north of the family home. When asked why the parents had not joined the search in the park earlier, Bertolino pointed out that it had not even been open to the public before Tuesday. The parents had assumed the experts, the FBI, and all were tracking teams they had. Would have been able to locate Brian based on the information that they had provided. The grim discovery of his remains were made in the Carlton Reserve in Florida near Laundrie's home, along with a backpack and notebook. Interesting. I believe they've also upped the case to murder from a person of interest or whatever the case is. This is interesting. So now we know, we were pretty sure yesterday that it was in fact him, but now we have confirmation that the parents were in fact the ones that found everything. So if that's true, then the parents probably found the body too. Did they place the stuff there? I don't believe so. Based on the fact that they have been... Okay, so based on the facts, I'm not saying they didn't know where he was. I still believe they had a strong feeling where he was. However, I don't believe that they planted any evidence because, quite frankly, there's no way they left the house, made it to the Carlton Reserve with these items, left them there without somebody seeing. There's just no way that happened. While theorizing the evil parents is fun, at the end of the day, there's very real possibility that these are just two old people who just lost their potential daughter-in-law and son and are just destroyed. Perhaps it's true that they weren't hiding anything at all because, honestly, from Jump Street, they told the police that he went to the Carlton Reserve and that's exactly where he was. This kind of does make me believe that maybe they had a strong suspicion about where he was and they were holding it back, but they did tell the police where he was. Now, if you look at this bag, if it's a backpack, it does look like it could be waterproof. So it's possible. It's possible. It's a mess. Now, the parents are under fire, but this person says, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, who remained largely holed up in their Northport home in Florida amid the manhunt, had faced suggestions of protesters and online sleuths that they were hiding their son's actions. The fact that they may have led investigators to their son's possession of possibly his remains, that all undercuts the argument that they were aiding and abetting his escape, attorney Nima Rahmani says. This leads me to believe that they've been cooperative and not the other way around, she added. She said she believes the remains found near the bridge that connects the two places are likely Brian Laundrie, unless he was trying to plant evidence next to someone else's remains to throw the enforcement off his tracks. That's not the case. The lawyer told the Sun he believes Laundrie was involved, and he did, obviously do that. I'm sure Gabby's family wants some sort of closure, but if Brian is dead, this is as good as it's going to get, which sucks. She's not going to get any justice whatsoever on this, but that said, I'm pretty sure you take some solace in the fact that the dude is done. You see highly suspicious how cadaver dogs, quote, missed skeletal remains while searching for Brian. It's interesting, but it probably missed it. Okay, so skeletal. We've learned the remains found of the Carlton were, quote, skeletal bones. This just broke. yes, that's going to be harder to probably prove, doesn't it? Canine handler and former police officer suggests it's highly suspicious that the cadaver dogs may have missed the skeletal remains found in Florida, even if they were underwater. If the body had been there when they went by with the cadaver dogs, the body had been there for more than 2 or 3 minutes, the odor would have come through the water. The FBI confirmed Wednesday that investigators found what appeared to be human remains along with personal items. The Laundrie family attorney had initially advised law enforcement that Brian may be in that area. It's highly suspicious. If the body was there at that time, X weeks ago, and if it's the same dog and the quality of dog or the same quality of training, they should have found him. They would have detected Laundrie's body. But, I mean, they couldn't have been in that area if it was underwater. We now know that it was a skeletal. My guess is the animals had at it. You know, this is pretty nuts. You see, I don't think we're going to see any pictures here, but we have learned the remains found in the Carlton Reserve were skeletal remains / bones. You know, it's interesting. You see, even a weighted body will normally float to the surface after 3 or 4 days, exposing it to seabirds and buffeting from the waves. Putrefaction and scavenging creatures will dismember a corpse in a week or 2, and the bones will sink to the seabed. So essentially, they ended up getting... They eat everything. Everything got eaten. Making matters trickier, the wet grounds have served as Native American resting sites. The problems with, the dogs will alert. I don't know. I don't blame the dogs. Don't blame the dogs. Interesting new development live while I was recording this, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you were informed or entertained, please make sure you leave a like and you click that red subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.